Outer Banks creator just spilled the tea on season 2 of the hit Netflix show, and here is everything that we know. I'm Jana Rosenberg.
I'm Gabi Conti, and this is your 24/7 celebrity news. So yes, there will be a season 2 of Outer Banks. We speculated that earlier. Now we do have confirmation on this, but due to the pandemic, they have not started shooting yet, but as soon as they can, they will. Most of the show is actually shot in South Carolina, so they are waiting for South Carolina's filming legislation to allow production to shoot. And while we're on the topic of the show shooting in South Carolina, FYI, where the show takes place, Kildare County, is actually not a thing. It's not a place. Sure, Kill Devil Hills is a place in Dare County, but a recent podcast for Spectrum News trying it together with Tom Boyum, co-creator of the show, Jonas Pate, addressed the show's geographical irregulations as well as teased what is to come with season 2 of the show.
So all of these cities that you just mentioned, I grew up around. Kill Devil Hills is just so wild that we're talking about these in the news. I'm from North Carolina, so it's really cool. I mean, when we interviewed a lot of the cast here at Hollywire, the show was filmed in Charleston, and it has a very Outer Banksy vibe, but actually Madison Bailey said that the actual Outer Banks in North Carolina would not let them film there. They were just not a part of it. They just were not down. However, Charleston's one of the most beautiful places on the East Coast. So, I mean, obviously I'm excited for season 2.
It's so cool. And yeah, you're right. The creator also said that as well. He said that they wanted to film in North Carolina, but they did in South Carolina. But it's cool that confirming that.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Pate explained that he used Outer Banks as less of an actual location and more as the concept of the show. Similar to how Star Wars uses space as its setting, as Outer Banks is more of a concept rather than a specific geographical location. As he explained on the podcast, Star Wars wasn't actually shot in space. Pate is a North Carolina native born in Hope County who currently lives in Wilmington. So some of the show's choices are based off of his experiences growing up. I love Wilmington. I was literally just there, you guys, when I was gone. That's where I was. So I love the creator of the show, and I think that's kind of why I'm cheering for it so much. But I mean, these locations are absolutely beautiful, and there's really nothing I'm telling you, there's nothing like the Carolina coast.
I bet. I've never been, so I have to go.
Yes.
For sure. I will definitely make that on my list of places to check out. Pate is aware that fans might notice the geographical inconsistencies on the show, like the ferry that can take characters from Outer Banks to Chapel Hill, which is 245 miles inland. Apparently, there was a scene where the characters were supposed to take an Uber to Chapel Hill, but that was cut from the show as that would be very expensive. So they're trying.
That would be a super expensive Uber and really long. I don't think you want to be in an Uber for that long.
Yeah. So I'm happy that they are making sure they're keeping it somewhat grounded in reality. And this is true, I feel with most shows that they take place. I mean, think Riverdale, for example.
Totally.
That's not a real place. They made up this area, but it definitely is inspired by other real places in America.
Totally. And they'll shoot wherever it kind of has that vibe, that feel.
Yes.
You know, which is
for
really cool.
Riverdale, it allegedly takes place in the New York area, but they shoot in Canada.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it has kind of a Gotham-y feel, you know?
Yeah, it's supposed to be upstate New York.
Totally.
Yeah.
The good news of when we can expect season 2 to start shooting is, well, South Carolina has not been hit super hard by the global pandemic, so they should be able to shoot season 2 relatively soon. Pate did hint a little bit about what fans can expect from the upcoming season. As we do know, season 1 ends with quite the cliffhanger as the treasure ends up in the Bahamas, and both Sarah and John are heading there alive. Great news. Pate did hint that season 1 will not cleanly wrap up as he plans to introduce new villains that could put Rafe to shame. And Pate also believes the series could go on for about 4 or 5 seasons. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
So excited. I love this cast.
I think it definitely will go on for a while. I mean, anytime there is a hit Netflix show, I feel like Netflix wants it to go on for as long as possible because it's a hit show.
Definitely.
So, and it's really cool that the creator is very passionate about this. And I think we had actually reported that when he was pitching the show, he had already known what the 4 to 5 seasons would look like, which is typical in TV.
Definitely. So, when you're writing. Yep.
Well, what do you guys think will happen in season 2 of Outer Banks? Will you be watching? Let us know. I'm Gabi Conti.
I'm Jana Rosenberg, and follow us here at Hollywire for your 24/7 celebrity news.